أهلا وسهلا في فيديو جديد. فهذا الفيديو تتمة الفيديو السابق حول أسماء المشاهير الموجودين في نيبلز فلوريدا. فخليكم معايا وغتشوفوا جمالية هذه المدينة وبعض المعلومات عليها. يلا خليكم معايا، فرجة ممتعة.
Well, all right, everybody. Now that we're heading south down the river, you're welcome to get up and move around the boat as you please. The body of water that we're on right now is known as the Gordon River. Gordon River starts up behind us to our north. It'll flow all the way through Naples Bay, all the way out to the Gulf of Mexico. Creates an estuary in this area. One of the first things you may notice about the Gordon River is the color of our water. A lot of people think it looks a little bit brown, a little bit polluted. It's really not. It's actually very clean. It's stained this color from the mangrove trees. They drop the leaves into the water, and it stains this color. Stains this water this color, just like a coffee or a tea. If your boat's a little bit too big to get taken out of the water every day, you're going to have to get an in-water slip, like some of these boats here on our right-hand side. A lot of marinas will rent these slips to you. These ones next to us are actually purchased. The most expensive slip is over to our right now, right next to the fuel dock there. Sold a couple years ago for about $1.6 million. Nobody owns the water, so you're able to park wherever you'd like. These guys are just anchored outside the main channel, as long as you're not in the main channel or in a private waterway. Like I said, nobody owns the water. Park there. Well, the real deal with that is they want you to move your boat every 72 hours. That way you don't leave it there or abandon it. Or keep while you're looking at up on shore. That's no good. But what people do is they'll actually live on these sailboats. Take their little dinghy or kayak over to the right-hand side where those smaller sailboats are. There's a public access boat launch there. That park over to the right is known as Landing Park. Like I said, there's a public access boat launch there, the playground there for the kids. Also a gazebo there on the point, awesome spot to enjoy lunch, watch the boats go by on Naples Bay. C2 is a 112-foot Westport yacht. That may range in value from anywhere from about $12 million to $18 million. The area that boat sits in is known as the Naples City Dock, this larger marina here on the right. Owned and operated by the city of Naples. Naples City Dock is host to a whole bunch of different fishing charters, sailing charters, a lot of private boats as well are kept there. That yellow building is known as the Naples Yacht Club. If you want to become a member of the Naples Yacht Club, there's a few criteria you're going to have to meet. First off, you're going to have to be a resident property owner in the city limits of Naples. Started by the Walker family back in the 30s, 40s. The Walker family at the time owned a dredging business. The guy's name was Forrest Walker. Mr. Walker came down here. They bought up a little bit of a couple hundred acres of mangrove swamp at that time, right in the southwest corner of Florida. They owned a dredging business, used those dredges to create canals. They used the spoil from the dredging, put it up on a home site, create a larger home site. Back in the day, you could buy a home and a home site from the Walker family for maybe around $6,000, which is probably a pretty good investment. Nowadays, $6,000 doesn't get you very far in this neighborhood. And as homes in Aqualand Shores today, may range anywhere from just about $1 million up to maybe $8 or $10 million. And we'll be keeping Aqualand Shores on our right-hand side or a little bit further down the bay. Over to our left-hand side, you've got a similar community known as Blue Harbor. Royal Harbor has a lot of the same amenities that you would get in Aqualane Shores. Access to the Gulf of Mexico. Space right on Naples Bay. You don't have to go underneath any bridges, nothing like that. But homes on the left-hand side are going to be a lot less expensive than the homes on the right-hand side. The right-hand side, the classic example of how much larger Mr. Sample's dumping out of Port Royal compared to the other communities. Basically, the sign gets much larger boat there. That's the idea of it. Over to our left-hand side, where the American flag is, above the trees there. That area is known as Bayview Park. Another public access boat launch there. Awesome spot to watch the sunset or do a little bit of fishing. There's also a yacht club hidden behind the trees, known as Hamilton Harbor Yacht Club. Very expensive yacht club to be a part of, probably due to its proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. It's one of the closest yacht clubs to the Gulf of Mexico. Directly ahead of the boat, we've got a green and red triangular marker. That's known as a bifurcation. Bifurcation is a fancy word for an intersection. You got multiple waterways coming together here. If we were to continue straight down that intercoastal route, we'd be winding through the intercoastal waterway down towards Marco Island. After about 10 or 11 miles, we'd end up at the northern end of Marco Island. Boaters will use that as a safe passage if you're on a smaller boat or if the conditions don't allow you to be in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to take a right at that intersection. We head down towards the Gordon Pass and the Gulf of Mexico. Before we get there, we'll actually take a side trip inside one of these bays of Port Royal, get you a little bit closer look at some of these homes back here. The island on our forward left-hand side is known as Keewaydin Island. Keewaydin Island spans from basically the southern tip of Naples almost down to the northern end of Marco Island. Keewaydin Island is the northernmost island in the famous 10,000 islands. And from here all the way through the Everglades, all the way down to the Florida Keys. Keewaydin Island does have a spring-fed freshwater pond on it, unlike most of the islands. The largest island is 10,000. That freshwater pond does allow it to play host to a whole bunch of different wildlife. Obviously, you got all your reptiles and birds out there, but you'll get deer, boar, even the radioactive dangerous sword panthers found on Keewaydin Island. So if you look next to this fishing boat, I just saw a dolphin pop up. Unluckily for them, but lucky for us. So keep your eyes open. These are Atlantic bottlenose dolphin. It's literally sitting on the surface right behind the boat. I'm sure they're real happy.
Hey, you got another dolphin. I know. Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. In front of the boat is a green triangle, square marker. Number 13. We're going to go ahead and take a right at that green 13.
Nantucket home. So I'm sure that's their vacation home, but a two-story property coming up here. This family has an 84-foot-long white Hatteras yacht that's appropriately named Beer Money. A lot of the families name their boats or their yachts after how they make their money or products that they're known for. The Beer Money family owns one of the largest beer distributing companies in the United States, and then the husband of the family is also on the board for Budweiser. Their next door neighbors to our immediate right, you notice how shiny those windows are. They better be shiny. That's the Dracket family. They live in Naples year round as well. They invented Windex and Drano. A lot of people notice this house under construction. That's about 11 months in the making so far. Something that size will take around 2 years to complete. The previous property owner there that sold off had their house to go to the ground with Mars, with M&M's, chocolate candy. Their boat was appropriately named as well. They named it M&M 5, the 5 original colors of M&M. I'm still trying to figure out who's building there. Here's another monster-sized home. That gentleman's a 55-year-old investment broker for Goldman Sachs. He came in, bought up 3 Port Royal homes, and tore those down to build his. Now the gray range coming up to the left of him, obviously that's an original. He actually made that family a very lucrative offer for their property as well because he wanted to build even bigger. They told him, no way, go away, we're not selling to you. Kind of makes sense. That gentleman's a retired investment broker, but he retired from Merrill Lynch. Now, when this community began, you guys, there was 690 houses total. Today it's down to around 450. Add on top of that, the fact that every single owner in this community is either a multi-millionaire or a multi-billionaire. Combined with the price of the homes, there's no other community that exists like this in the entire state of Florida. Ladies, the house to our immediate right with the blue boat on the left there. When that house was originally built, she painted it in Cadillac, matching car sitting in the driveway. That's the original house that Mary Kay of Mary Kay Cosmetics built. When she passed away and the family sold out the property, the new owners did a remodel from the inside out, and that's doing a total tear down to her house. Little tiny dirt lot here that recently sold for $12 million. I don't know about you guys, but I can find a lot more to do with $12 million than that, but, you know, kind of like a Monopoly game back here. The 20% where the back is facing us here, that property, that yacht is named 20% because they own 20% of Waffle House. The corner lot coming up over here. That's the first 2-story house that they ever allowed to be built within this community. That family's from Estonia. The grandfather of the family was the Prime Minister of Estonia at one point. The gentleman that averages about 6 weeks out of every year there is either the grandson or the great-grandson. He's around 26 years old. The last couple days that he's there, you know, when he's home for sure, he invites about 200 of his friends over, has a DJ and a cookout and parties the last 2 days of 6 weeks. Elephant statues here down by the dock. If you guys look up on their patio behind the shrub line on the left side, you'll see the very tip top of their rust-colored pig statue. That's the founding family of Johnsonville Sausage. Gentlemen, their neighbors to the left, dark brown hurricane shutters down. When that gentleman's home, he brings his blue and white boat with him that's appropriately named Top Rod. That gentleman invented the graphite portion of a graphite fishing rod. This dirt lot here coming up with construction, that's the first family in Port Royal I've seen build a pool first, so it's kind of cool. Anxious to see their design. So about 3 months ago, there was a beautiful house sitting there. I did some digging. I was curious to know who tore it down. The family that's building there, the wife is the 3rd highest person at Chick-fil-A. The 2-story yellow house coming up. This lady lives in Naples year-round. Her backyard has been on HGTV, Better Homes and Gardens magazine covers. She is majority shareholder of FPD for Flowers to Deliver. She's also the highest ranked female official in the hedge fund department at Goldman Sachs. All right, I know we're a small group, but any of you guys from Illinois? Yeah? Okay. How about anyone ever eaten at a restaurant called Portillo's? Okay. I'm with those of you who have not. Everybody from Illinois says we have to try a Portillo's hot dog sometime. You guys notice how long the brown dock is coming up here? Normally right there says, the largest yacht in all of Port Royal homeowners. The yacht's 134 feet long. Obviously named Top Dog. The Top Dog tender there, that's around $2 million. He does live in Naples year-round, but he's over in the Bahamas on his yacht right now. Big Portillo's hot dogs. guys go back to the 60s. He started out as a United States Marine. When he finished up in the Marines, he told his wife he wanted to take every penny that they had, which was about $4,000. He's the guy that had the idea to sell hot dogs out of a little trailer on a corner near Chicago, Illinois. He turned his hot dog trailer into a restaurant and then eventually sold off 65% of his business rights in 2015. He sold off for $1.6 billion. Here's another popular family on our right. Their yacht is named Our Journey. Can any of you guys tell me what county Naples sits in? Collier, I heard it. Yes, Collier. That's the Collier family. Their grandparents back in the day bought over 2 million acres of swampland down here. They got it for 25 cents an acre, and they still own around 800,000 acres of that land today. Now, when you guys think about US 41, the Tamiami Trail that goes Kansas to Miami, back in the day when the state of Florida started that project, they ran out of money when they hit the Naples area. Collier family stepped up and said, we'll finish it with our money, but we want this county named after us. So that's ultimately how it got its name. Very interesting looking house on the back corner lot back there. I call that one the airport house. It's around 20 years old. That is designed and owned by a famous architect named Richard Meyer. That house was built to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. The roof is the same shape on the front of the property as well, so it ultimately collects rainwater, stores in the cistern underneath the home. They'll water their lawn, things like that with it. Go across the water over here. Creamy colored house, pinstripe awnings over the windows. I would say almost all of us have played with their products before. That's the founding family of Play-Doh. To our immediate right, where the real pretty dock is, the double bridge there. That gal's father is very high up with Cablevision. He has 3 daughters. That was a wedding present for the oldest daughter. It was a $25 million wedding present. She has 2 sisters as well. Those 2 younger sisters was not happy at all. The big sis got that house. And you know where the story's going. So to keep peace in the family, Daddy got the other 2 girls Port Royal homes too, but they picked beachfront over on the other side. There's another dirt lot coming up over here. The founder of Papa John's Pizza is breaking ground there. I haven't seen any activity at that house in months. The next family actually caused me to have to change up my tour. I always pointed their house out as my favorite. So I'm off on Sundays and Mondays. It's been about 2.5 months ago now. Took my 2 days off. Came back first trip of the day on a Tuesday like now. I couldn't believe it. I actually, when we turned the corner up here to come into the community, my jaw dropped. So I've got a crane sitting on the lot now. It was around 17,000 square feet, owned by the founding family of Johnson and Johnson. That house made it into a dumpster in 2 days flat. From what I understand, the husband and wife team, they own a business called Global Energy Market, whatever that may be, came in, spent $16 million, never even set foot inside the house. Came around back, checked out their new view, and said, this is it, tear it down. Kind of how it works back here. Some of them will keep them and party in it and kind of destroy it for a couple months and then tear it down. But all right, last house I'll have for you guys. Nestled in behind all the trees here on the corner lot. You guys think about Tom Selleck, your back in the PI, back in the late 80s when he built on set in Hawaii. He liked the brown Hawaiian style house on set so well, he replicated it right there to be his vacation home. What he didn't realize was that the community was never going to become gated. He wanted more privacy and security. So after they approved their first famous person to live here, he ended up putting it up for sale as soon as construction was done. And the CEO of Hugo Boss, fragrance and fashion designer, ended up buying that house off of him, and they actually still own it today. So Gordon Drive, you guys, is the primary road that wraps you through this community. I know it's supposed to rain later on today. If you're up for something to do, have some time to kill on your vacation, anything like that, it's not a gated community. It's such a beautiful drive. The fronts of these places are absolutely incredible to look at. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you. Thank you.
Well, all right, everybody. Hope you enjoy your cruise back there through one of the bays of Port Royal. You may have noticed a common theme: big houses, big boats, big bank accounts. I think this pink home on our forward right-hand side fits the definition of big. All those waterways we went through were handmade by Mr. Samples. He didn't dig them with his hands, but with the dredging equipment. The only natural waterways over to our right now. That's known as Cutlass Cove over there. We didn't have to cut anything. Water already formed it like that. But the area that we're in right now is known as the Gordon Pass. Pass is our entrance to the Gulf of Mexico. We're at the very southern end of Naples here. The road that'll get you down here is known as Gordon Drive. You got Gordon River, Gordon Pass, Gordon Drive. It's all named after this guy named Roger Gordon. Came down and put Naples on the map. Basically made it a little fishing town. But this property on our right-hand side is basically owned by one family. One of the larger properties. I believe it's about 3 or 4 acres. So they own basically the whole southern tip of Naples.